Pacifica Radio, I'm Christina Onnested. President Joe Biden says he doesn't expect to reach a ceasefire deal for Gaza in the near future. Biden's comments today come as a U.S.-backed proposal with global support has not been embraced by Israel or Hamas. Biden said international leaders had discussed a ceasefire during the G7 summit in Italy, but when asked by reporters if a truce deal would be reached soon, he said no, adding, "I haven't lost hope." Meanwhile, another child has died of starvation in Gaza, according to reports from Al Jazeera. The death toll of Palestinians from 8 months of war has now topped 37,200. Pope Francis warned of the pitfalls of artificial intelligence in an address before the Group of Seven in Italy today. He said politicians must take the lead in making AI human-centric so that human decisions are made by humans and not machines, warning human relations could be reduced to algorithms. At the G7 Thursday, Biden signed a 10-year agreement with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky to provide military and other aid for the long haul as it fends off Russia's aggression.
Our goal is to strengthen Ukraine's credible defense and deterrence capabilities for the long term. A lasting peace for Ukraine must be underwritten by Ukraine's own ability to defend itself now and to deter future aggression, not by sending American troops to fight in Ukraine, but by providing weapons and ammunition, expanding intelligence sharing, continuing to train brave Ukrainian troops at bases in Europe and the United States, enhancing interoperability between our militaries in line with NATO standards.
The G7 also agreed on a U.S. proposal to use frozen assets from Russia to back a $50 billion loan to Ukraine. Russia's President Vladimir Putin denounced the freezing of assets as theft and vowed it will not go unpunished. Meanwhile, Ukraine is dismissing an offer by Russia's president for a ceasefire if Kiev starts withdrawing troops from 4 regions Russia annexed in 2022 and if Kiev renounces plans to join NATO. Ukraine's dismissed the proposal as nothing new. Kiev wants to join NATO and has demanded Russia withdraw from all its territory. Putin's remarks come ahead of a peace summit in Switzerland this weekend. Russia is not invited. Children living in conflict situations experienced violence at unbearable levels in 2023, according to a new report by the United Nations. The incidence in violence increased last year by 21%, documenting more than 32,900 grave violations against some 22,500 children around the world. Virginia Gamba is special representative of the Secretary General for Children in Armed Conflict.
Illustrated by the high percentage of girls being abducted for recruitment and sexual violence, including rape and sexual slavery.
Those numbers are equivalent to 15 children killed every day. The UN report indicates it's likely an undercount due to fear of reprisal. The highest numbers of grave violations against children were verified in Israel and the occupied Palestinian territory, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Myanmar, Somalia, Nigeria, and the Sudan. The Supreme Court has rejected a lawsuit seeking to bar access to the abortion medication mifepristone. Reproductive rights advocates warn the fight for reproductive justice is far from over. Max Pringle reports.
Democratic Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer of New York said he's relieved at the ruling, but he's under no illusions that the legal fight for mifepristone access is over.
This decision was based not on the merits, but on a lack of standing. We are not yet out of the woods.
Abortion opponents said they're disappointed by the ruling, but plan to continue to bring legal challenges. In a statement, Kate Daniel with the group Susan B. Anthony Pro-Life America said in part, "It's a sad day for all who value women's health and unborn children's lives, but the fight to stop dangerous mail-order abortion drugs is not over." The state attorneys general of Kansas, Missouri, and Idaho announced they'll continue to pursue legal challenges to mifepristone just moments after the Supreme Court decision came down. I'm Max Pringle.
Donald Trump turned 78 years old today. He traveled to the nation's capital Thursday and met with Republican leaders. It was his first visit as a convicted felon and since the deadly January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. Christopher Martinez reports.
House Republican Conference Chair Elise Stefanik.
We are 100% unified behind his candidacy and are ready to get to work on behalf of the American people to secure the border, unleash American energy independence, bring back peace through strength, stand up for election integrity, and defeat this illegal weaponization of the justice system.
After Thursday's meetings, Trump was headed for a meeting with the Business Roundtable. The Biden-Harris campaign released a statement on that, calling Trump a failed businessman, citing his failed casino, airline, university, hotel, and his 6 bankruptcy filings. The campaign's National Advisory Board chair, former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, saying Trump was returning to the scene of the crime, meaning the January 6th Capitol insurrection. And the campaign released an ad called Burn.
Stoking the flames of division and hate. Now he's pouring gasoline.
They were unbelievable patriots.
Pledging to pardon the extremists who tried to overthrow our government.
We will give them pardons.
Inciting them to try again.
Trump has pretty much made January 6th a key talking point in his campaign. And if he's elected, he vows that he'll issue pardons for the over 1,300 people convicted of crimes during the attack on the Capitol. I'm Christopher Martinez.
I'm Christina Onnested, reporting for Pacifica Radio.